Welcome to the Spookysode.
Hello.
Hello. You sounded like...
I did that on purpose.
Oh, spooky. Oh. We have one of our in-between Spookysodes. We're not at a big fat location this time.
Yep.
We went somewhere local. Find out about it in just a few minutes. Today's Spookysode is short but impactful.
It really though.
Mm-hmm. We have a couple of entities that are the creepiest that we've had, I think.
A couple of stories.
We've got some creepy listener stories. And also we want to tell you about our adventure to the place that we went.
Yeah.
But ultimately, there's a reason why today's episode is going to be a little different, a little shorter. Macy, let the people know, which we've already talked about it, but as of this recording,
so we're recording this a few hours before I get on a plane to go elope. Go on my grand eloping.
You're going to RUNNOFT.
I am going to RUNNOFT to Florida. And so this is being recorded a few hours before we wake up and you'll drive us to the airport.
Macy is, may I point out, in the vein of this being a Spookysode, is terrified of flying.
I hate to fly.
There's a general anxiety growing about you as we grow closer.
I feel like it's obvious,
which is adding to the Spookysode.
I know. I can feel it.
There is no lie in Pippin's eyes.
So because of that, this is going to be a little bit shorter than normal.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have to finish packing and we got to get ready because we got to leave this place at 5:30 in the morning. So it's going to be a little shorter, but again, it packs a punch.
It packs a punch. What we lack in time, we do not shortcut any punches.
Any quality. It's a quality product.
It is a quality. It's quality content. Just chef kiss. All right. With that, let's just jump into
Roll into this big bad clandestine bitch.
Here we are again.
On our own.
Such a long time has passed.
It really has.
It feels like.
Pretty crazy.
It's been since.
It's been.
I knew it as soon as I did it.
I know.
It was Halloween the last time that we were here.
I know.
Well, not here, but in the Spookysode realm. The realm of the... I was trying to do with a S sound. It didn't work.
We haven't even we recorded that in September.
We did record that way before Halloween.
So it's really been since September.
It's really been.
That's crazy.
Long time since we got the terrified,
the spook,
the chills,
the phenomenon that is known as the Spookysode.
Oh God. We have a good one, I think, for you ladies.
I think we're gearing up for a real good one
today.
I'm ready for it.
You guys and ghouls. What is it? You ghouls and boils? Goils and boils. That's what it is. You boils and gouts. Yeah, we'll figure it out one of these days.
We'll work it out.
2 Spookysodes ago was where the infamous chilly finger was brought into the world.
Very special, monumental occasion.
Which I think you were saying a chilling feeling.
A chilly finger.
A chilly finger ran down his spine. By far one of my favorite facets of Jen.
Faps?
Oh, I don't know about that. It's one of my all-time favorite faps. All right, look.
Gross.
Shall we talk about what horrors we have today?
It seems like a bunch.
We took a trip this morning, which also seems like a really long time ago.
That seems like a different day.
We have a bit of a backstory with the trip we took. As you know, or probably might. I don't know if you know. I'm telling you. Every other Spookysode have a location that we will go to and stay the night in. And then the other half of that is we pick a location to go to in our neck of the woods.
Yeah, kind of local.
Kind of local. Last time we did the Arlington Bridge, or what was it?
Screamin'
The Screamin' Bridge. Red Hot Screamin' Bridge.
Screamin' Bridge.
And that was a night that I'll still think about and get a little chilled.
I don't like it.
Today, where did we go?
Today
we're in Canton, so we went more
we went
east.
over to Athens.
Athens.
To Fuller Park in Athens. And we didn't go inside because that's trespassing. Yeah. And it was like a very residential neighborhood, and all the people were looking at us.
We probably would have gone in if it weren't for all of the people peeking around their windows to look at us.
They were. Like, it was ridiculous how much they were spying on us.
A lot of people do trespass because there's a lot of pictures and things of what's in there.
that people want to take.
And also older ones, because this place has been for sale for a couple of years.
Yeah.
So it's been closed off, but when you could go in there in the day, you could go in and take pictures. And of course, anything that's been shut down or temporarily closed is going to draw people.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I think the amount of graffiti and things that's out there is probably ramped up.
Yeah,
since
I would say so.
Yeah. But we did go out just to experience it and just to see where all of this stuff allegedly goes down. Shall we talk a little bit about Fuller Park?
Sure.
Fuller House. Let's talk about Full House.
Let's not talk about Full House.
Let's talk about Bob Saget.
Bob Saget!
If you're ready to get your pants scared off.
Oh, off your whole body.
We're going to scare our way into your pants. Grab a snack. Grab a drink. Grab a blankie. Grab a pet.
That's always good.
Grab a bottle of water.
Gotta stay hydrated.
Grab some fluffy socks. Grab an eye mask. One of those eye mask things.
One of those nice ones you can put in the freezer.
With the little beads on the inside. Grab a heavy-duty lip balm.
Oh.
Moisturize, self-care.
Okay.
Grab some nail oil, cuticle oil. Like, pamper yourself up.
Get one of those like orange sticks that you use to push it back.
Grab a pint of ice cream.
Oh. Wow.
The best kind, which is insert your favorite flavor here. And let's get ready to get our tits rocked off.
Just rocked off. We're gonna rock your cock right off.
Oh God! Why is cock so much worse?
I know cock.
Why? We're talking about roosters. Speaking of which, you've got. By the way, by the way, you got like a ton of cocks, 30 goddamn dicks. Before we jump into the scares, we realize that all of Macy's chickens might be roosters.
I think it's a 50-50 split, and I don't just love that.
Oh, man. So let's talk, besides Fuller Park, let's talk a little bit about our topics. Without giving them away, how would you summarize the type of scare that you're bringing to the table today?
He's Jim. But worse.
The type of spirit that Jim may be.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And I've got some maybe extraterrestrial, just kind of general creepiness all around. Okay. Not dead people.
High strangeness.
High strangeness, yes, is what they, yes.
That's the term.
Yeah. I know. I'm sorry, I'm so happy about it because I learned that literally yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I'm sure I've seen it before and just thought that they were describing it as like, oh, this is highly strange, but like high strangeness. And then as always, we've got listener stories.
Listener stories.
So let's talk about Fuller Park in Athens, Texas. What's the deets?
So here's what I came across for Fuller Park. So Mr. Fuller was a Baptist preacher, but he's also a pretty successful businessman. From what I could see, some of that was in cattle. Okay. But he was successful enough to where he would like loan people in the town money and make money on the interest. Like he had some cash, you know. And he was a preacher for a really long time, and his wife played the organ at the church and sang. And a lot of people had a lot of good things to say about her, you know, and she passed away. And then after that happened, apparently he kind of just like went off the deep end a little bit. Like, not in this, he was just upset. Everybody was like, he was not the same after that, you know, and he started building the park as like a memorial to her. And, you know, it was going from, you know, some people said it was going to be a zoo. So there were like these iron cages that were erected that supposedly had monkeys in them. Like, there were other things out there. There was like a well and an old little house and an entrance to an underground tunnel system, which we'll get to.
Yeah, we'll get to
that.
that.
We'll cover that.
And now, was this his property at the time? Was his house on this?
It seems to be. See,
There's mixed reviews.
Yeah. And
lots of mystery here.
Yeah, there is. Well, then I saw, and do you know what a poor farm is? I don't know what it is either, but like some people were like, it was the location of the old poor farm. And I don't know what that means, but then it seems like it might have, it was his property. A lot of there's so much mystery because a lot of the stuff was lost in a fire.
Yeah.
The records.
In the 30s, 1939, I believe. Before we get into the history, I want to talk about some of the things that people, just like us, going out to get spooked, going out to see what all the hubbub is about. Is it haunted? Is it a place for demons and witches' rituals? What is it?
Apparently.
People go out to find out, and I'm sure some edgy teens go out these days, and, you know, I don't do whatever they're doing. But here's some things that people have found in Fuller Park. Ritual candles. Often laid out as many things in the story in...
A pentagram?
Yes. Pentagrams burned into trees. Now, not only were the pentagrams burned into trees, but the 5 trees that they were burned into form...
Oh.
Guess what?
It's like an Inception pentagram.
A pentagram. Human hair. Clumps of human hair.
Okay.
More than one person.
Okay.
And this might be deer hair. This might be the hair of a dog. Long human hair. These next ones are a little rough. There's been dead calves found.
Yeah, I saw the video of that.
Did you?
Yeah.
And it was strangely, because a cow might just wander away. It was missing half of its skull.
It was gross.
Which is intentional. And then also dead cats set up in ritualistic settings.
Yeah.
So there's some weird shit. So we wanted to kind of find out, why are people going out there and doing these things? What's the legend behind it?
There's myths and rumors.
Lots of myths.
But nothing that I could really find to base in that much fact, you know, and I don't like to speculate, especially when it drags certain people's names like through the mud.
Yeah.
You know, if there's no actual evidence of that, I don't think that it's, you know, it's good. It's not a good thing to say. So, I mean, it was kind of tricky to find, you know, the history of the park and why it's become such a dark place, you know. There are 2 memorial graves there, and it's Mr. and Mrs. Fuller. I read something that like students from like Texas A&M, I don't know if it was the main one or a satellite school, came up and they like there's no actual grave, they're just memorial graves, like they checked and all that stuff. But there are 2 memorial graves there. They're surrounded by iron chains and virgin stone, which is also what the walls, I think, around the whole edging is the edge is made of, which the walls are badass.
And the chain, from the pictures that I've seen around the graves, seemingly was the same chain that we saw today.
Thick.
The biggest.
It's huge chain.
Links on a chain.
Pretty cool.
And they're iron.
Yeah.
Which I feel like, if this place is truly sticking strangely to a lot of witch lore and occult lore, there's something to that. You know, these weren't just some chains you picked up at Home Depot.
No, they were forged.
Some serious shit. So Athens, Texas, as I have come to find out through this research, has kind of they have a witch problem.
I would say an occultist problem.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
You know, and of course, I don't think it's a problem. There are certain people in the community, and always has been, as there always will be, that are kind of a little nervous about this. And they don't really want this attached to Athens, Texas. And I'm not saying necessarily that it's true, that this is a big haven for that kind of stuff. But it's definitely drawn the people out who want it to be, I guess.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's because of, you know, whether it is alleged or not, the darkness of the ritual things that have been found, and I think a lot of people there think that's just all witchcraft is that way. It all gets lumped in together. Yeah. So
a lot of this story is very like, ooh, witches this and witches that. Yeah. And there's a part of me that's like, but that's not, the standard. That's not what we do on a Saturday night. No, that's not what, So today, a lot of the, as you were saying, a lot of the original structures do not stand. Once upon a time, there was a little cabin,
like a little barn or like something like that was out there, and you could find like apparently there were like Christmas decorations out there and things like that. You could open them up and look
people
around.
Took pictures that like they would just go out and dig through these, I guess, tubs of Christmas decorations, but more sinisterly, there was this. You'd wander around and you'd come across this amphitheater, big amphitheater made of the same virgin stone.
Oh, okay.
And directly across from the amphitheater is what appears to be a sacrificial altar.
Oh.
People, this was built in the 30s. I even saw interviews from some people who said, I as a kid, I remember hauling the rocks up there to build this. This was a part of nothing like what you were saying it is. However, there's some strange things about it. There's no seating or chairs around the table. The table is too high to be like a dinner table, and there are reports of people seeing like signs of ritualistic behavior, scratches and things, in it. So the big rumor there is that people would come out and hold their black masses.
Okay.
At this place, as always seems to happen.
Any small town has a group that does some black mass.
Okay, so I think the Fullers maybe were buried there.
The last thing that I read, I was on this big long forum of all these locals arguing with each other. There was a lot of that. One of them cited some study. I think it was done in like 2009, and Texas A&M came out to do some historical research on it. And it is like a memorial grave site, but there's not bodies there. But I did also read that they were buried there, which people thought was weird because like no one's going to upkeep your grave out there.
Yeah. And just you two. I mean, I understand a certain beauty of being buried on your land, but I have a chunk from the Athens Review from 1933, which contained Mrs. Fuller's obituary. Now this is alleged.
Okay.
Because everything online, you never know. If somebody wants to win their side of the argument, they might just be like, look at this. In her obituary, it states, friends of the deceased were given an opportunity to view the remains before taking the body to Fuller Ranch, where her burial was held. It was on a 20-acre tract beautified by nature. Mrs. Fuller had requested that she be buried there, and her wishes were carried out. The 20 acres were set aside for a park by Reverend and Mrs. Fuller some time ago, and he has announced that the entire ranch will eventually become the property of a name of a family for the and the First Baptist Church of Athens. So that was apparently a part of the obituary.
Okay, so I like that.
I personally, and this could just be my want, but I personally believe there might be some burial
that they're both
happening,
there.
As with things like this, if they are buried there and people are coming in, burning stuff on the trees, spray painting things, telling goofy, silly horror stories, I imagine there might actually be some activity out there. Maybe. But it's just them stomping, going, stop.
Yeah, maybe.
Tell us about Monkey Bridge.
So Monkey Bridge, this was another one that it's like nobody can really find any like.
Does Monkey Bridge tie into the monkey cages?
No.
There's just two separate instances.
Two separate deals with monkeys.
Okay, cool.
In the 1960s, from what I could tell, there was this circus train driving through town. Circus train.
Sure.
And it derailed. And the monkeys got out of their circus container trailer and killed their handlers.
Oh my gosh.
Specifically. And went into the woods.
Okay.
And so basically the legend of Monkey Bridge, which no longer stands, it was torn down. And I did see that there was a man murdered there. I don't know if he was murdered there. I shouldn't say that, but his body was found there. But the bridge has been torn down, and but apparently, like allegedly, some people say at night you can hear the sounds of The monkeys and also the people who were being eaten by monkeys screaming. Yeah, pretty much. So that one was pretty short and sweet. There was not too much to that one other than that.
Mm-hmm. The monkey bridge?
The monkey bridge.
I can't get over that there's two separate instances.
Yeah, so that's not super duper close, apparently, to Fuller Park. So they're not really related. It's just two instances of monkeys.
So the First Baptist Church that they spoke of earlier of Athens was never built, never ended up being built. I think it was kind of lost to time at some point. And then I believe Mr. Fuller passed away. For some reason that never came to be. Mm-hmm. So there's all these fantastical. No, fantissimus.
Okay.
There's all these fantasma. There's all these fancifite stories about Fuller Park. But as we are we so love saying that the truth is, it can be scarier than the supposed happenings. Mm-hmm. And I had a moment with this because I was kind of trying to find information, and there was legends that are very similar to legends we've heard before. If our good buddy Zach Bagans was to go there, he would definitely say there's a portal. There's a portal. There's a portal to hell. It would be like, here's Monkey Bridge, here's the monkey cages.
Here's the portal to
hell.
Here's
the portal to hell. Mm-hmm. And no one else would have ever heard of it because that's what he do. I went deep looking into stuff, and I came across an article, or I came across a publication where people were talking about the history of Athens and how a bunch of people who are into the occult come out to this park and they do God knows what, And a guy found the remains of a green candle, like wax burnt down, and they said, "Oh, this means something, right?" And he said, I know somebody who's really into this kind of stuff. She's, I believe, a practicing Wiccan. He's like, I can ask her about it. So they actually, got in touch with her and spoke with her. And she said, yeah, green is prosperity and luck and everything that green represents. Of course, nothing evil. Mm-hmm. Don't try telling anyone else that. But she elaborated a little bit about her experience growing up. And this is not even just about Athens, Texas. Mm-hmm. I want to make that very clear. We're not saying anything about Athens. This is small town Texas. Yeah. In general,
or small town USA, maybe.
Small town USA, small town South, however you want to say it. So growing up, she was pulled over one time for a seemingly routine traffic offense. I don't know if she was speeding or what, but she was pulled over. She's practicing Wicca at this time, or at least looking into it. In her back seat, she has some books about. We all have those books. Yep. We all got those books. The officer comes up and he chats to her, and I guess he noticed the books, and he's. Kind of looks at the books in her back seat, and he looks at her and he says, we still burn witches around these parts. She went on to talk about how she has since moved out of the town she grew up in, or she moved to a larger city, I should say that. She moved to a larger city to be somewhere more open-minded, where she could practice openly and have books in the backseat of her own goddamn car and not be worried about what would happen. And this was seemingly years ago, because she's older than she was in the story. Mm-hmm. She has been living in a larger city for many, many years. It sounded like an old story. So that kind of brought the comfort that time can kind of cloud these kind of situations. You're like, oh, well, it was a long time ago. It gets a pass, right? I was scrolling through comments. You can leave comments on all kinds of people can pop off. And what is it? Anonymity breeds animosity. Yeah. So there's could be very hateful things. One of the comments I read on this was from somebody who said, because she was talking about, I'm going to stay in Dallas, yada, yada. It said, stay in Dallas for all we care, just so long as you stay the hell out of here. And that was left a couple of months ago.
Well, that sounds about right, though.
And I'm not surprised, but something about it gave me a little bit of a freaky feeling. Just to kind of remember that. And I mean, even between us two, when we were driving up there today, we were wearing our civvies. Yeah. As it were, just kind of casual clothes. We weren't witched up. And we said, luckily we're going to be walking around this place getting some photos. Lucky we're not dressed up how we would be.
Yeah, we dressed pretty casually. Inconspicuously. We did not want to be conspicuous.
To just remember that that might be something we would have been afraid of to do.
Yeah.
Or at least felt uneasy with it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, the more we get into this, the more shocking it is when I hear something like
when
this.
you hear
To kind of go, oh, wait, this is still a thing.
Yeah.
Especially more so in places where it's not widely accepted. And things like that. And the more I sat and kind of ruminated on this, the more I started to get this just like freaky feeling. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't about the ghosts that might be there. Mm-hmm. Also, by the way, can we just say that sometimes people say the ghosts of monkeys will like come and
take your car keys?
Yeah. Pull your hair.
Yeah.
We weren't afraid of the ghost monkeys or the real ghosts or anything like that. I was afraid of what could have happened.
Yeah.
We were walking along the road at one point, and again, we were in eyesight of residential area.
Multiple houses.
We were safe. But there was a part of me when a car drove by, he slowed down, I'm sure, just to like be safe passing us because we were walking on the road.
But I was thinking it too.
He was slowed down maybe an excessive amount, and my first thought was like, some shit could go down.
Yeah.
You know, if you were wearing your witchy skirt and I was out there in all black lace and black lipstick.
Right.
Who knows? And even if they just shout something from their car.
Yeah, which is probably most likely.
Yeah. And drive off like a bitch. But that's where this kind of growing fear around this place has set up for me.
Yeah.
And I imagine if you are going out there to be spooky, you probably feel something very similar. Mm-hmm. No, keep in mind you're trespassing, so don't do it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I had to put that in there because it just shocked me a little bit. Shaka. Let's talk about the tunnels.
So much of this is just speculative, right? So there are apparently under the town of Athens,
allegedly,
a bunch of tunnels that are underground, and there's like one under the courthouse, one under the country club, one under Fuller Park, or entrances like that you can get into, one under the jail, and then the last one kind of floated around. I saw like the hospital or like, you know, kind of different. But anyway, they form the shape of a pentagram,
of course,
and very thorough ahead planning. And that's where all of the, like, some people say the town elders are all Satanists, and it's just crazy. Like,
can you imagine somebody hunched over a map of the town? They're like, okay, if we want to do this, we have to put one here, here, here. No, shit, that doesn't quite form a pentagram. Move it over here.
Well, and it reminded me of Stull, Kansas, on how it was like, well, it was founded by Satan worshippers and it had the name Skull, but it was changed to Stull. But it's like Stull was the last name of the first postmaster.
But the Pope wouldn't fly over it.
You know, so it's just like, there are a lot of the stuff on this. To me, I was just like, I don't know about it.
I have here that the publication UFO Magazine had this to say about the tunnels. The tunnels under the city are actually a joint alien military underground facility.
Excellent.
This was said in 1992.
All right.
So take that for what you will.
I'm not saying that there aren't tunnels under. There's a lot of people who swear that the tunnels are there, but even certain people who have like found the tunnels, many are like, no, it was probably an old sewer system or to run moonshine.
Well, I mean, there's tunnels in a lot of places, like sewage, you know.
Well, it's just, it's weird here because we don't have underground tunnel. We don't have good soil for it. That's why there's not storm shelters.
That's why it's a little strange to hear about a town that has a network of tunnels.
Yeah, so there's that.
But we did go today. And while we didn't get in, we didn't get it in.
We walked around.
We got some pictures. I felt perfectly at peace.
I thought it was a lovely little area.
I thought it was nice. Yeah. That virgin stone had some nice moss growing on it.
Oh, got some good portrait mode mossy pictures.
But there were a couple of strange things to me, right? So the first one is just the dilapidated state of the whole place. Yeah. The fact that the entrance that you can get in, it was chained off.
Yeah, and like all graffitied up with purple graffiti.
Yeah, big blocks of purple graffiti. But the main entrance that you can enter today was chained up with 2 human-size, like, gaps. Yeah. It didn't connect, like, wall-to-wall chain. It was just like, it was more like a caution tape.
It was, haphazardly
It was kind of like, please don't enter here.
Don't drive through.
You know, also the
walls were broken down in several spots.
The crows?
That was cool.
I thought it was very cool. I'm sure it's nothing more than a coincidence.
Yeah.
But we were hearing some cawing of crows.
Quite a bit of it.
A lot. Nowhere around.
Yeah, only from the inside of the park.
Only from the, yeah.
Which I was like, that's cool.
I was like, all right, I hear you.
Mm-hmm. Took some pictures of the grass.
Graffiti. That big-ass chain.
The chain was big.
Freaked me out for some reason. Those nipple-shaped.
Those cracked me up. Got a good picture of those.
Pillar.
Wait.
I mean, more accurately, it did look like the top dropper bit of an essential oil.
Pop.
Baby bottle pop.
Lick it, stick it, and suck it.
That's not how that goes. Lick the pop, dip it, and shake it.
It's just not as good.
And dip it again. It's also, I'm Mr. Bucket. Put your balls in my top.
Mouth.
It's top. It's not but. Oh, man.
I like its mouth.
So that's Fuller Park.
Yeah.
If you're a Patreon, we will have those videos up.
Yeah, we took a bunch of pictures.
We took some vlogs. Video logs.
Oh.
That were mostly silly. I feel like there's a lot of this face that I'm making because I kept seeing
the neighbor spying on us.
Yeah, I kept seeing, Grandpa peeking his head out looking at us.
Ridiculous.
He really was. And he was kind of acting like he was out washing his car.
Yeah, out working in his garage.
Or whatever. And then one time I was looking like a dumbass, had the phone out, talking to myself in the middle of the road like a twat. And I look over, and he's literally poked his head out from behind the truck. And he's just staring, and I'm just... Okay. I feel like in that video, my face just went... So Fuller Park, and I want to reach out to anybody who is from or has been to or around that area, Athens, Texas. Do you have any Fuller Park experiences? Have you felt the monkeys pulling your pants, pulling your chain?
Those damn monkeys. They're all over town, apparently.
Why? This has to be the work of somebody who is monkey obsessed.
Maybe.
And they were like, those cages, monkey cages.
Monkey cages.
And then just, the ghosts, monkey ghosts.
Ghosts.
They'll steal your car keys.
It is weird. It's weird.
All right. We've got main topics. So
main topic.
Let's share with each other what we're talking.
I'm talking to you tonight, this eve.
Tonight.
About the Gurning Man of Glasgow.
The Gurning Man.
The Gurning Man.
That's some nice alliteration. The Gurning Man of Glasgow.
I know, I liked it.
I love alliteration.
I love alliteration. What are you talking about?
I'm going to talk to you about an unexplained phone call with Gary Sudbrink.
Nice.
Yeah.
First, before I get into the Gurning Man story, I first want to tell you what it means to gurn.
Oh, it's an adjective.
Yeah. So, gurn. It means to contort one's face into a grimace or otherwise incorrect face.
Oh, I don't like the term incorrect face.
I gave it that term. That's luckily not what it was, but that's the best way I could, So, the Gurning Man, he might be one of the freakier dudes I've ever come across. He's he's weird.
I don't like it.
But he's Jim. He's totally Jim at the same time.
The fact that Jim is in the same, setting as an incorrect face is not okay.
It could be just as easy for Jim to be Tucker and Daled. To where it's like he's not as bad as it seems, but he just is being himself, but he comes across really strange.
Is that what the Gurning Man is doing?
Maybe. But it's like that's what I mean. Jim is not as freaky as this dude, but I feel like this dude sometimes maybe was just doing his thing.
Okay.
And I mean,
somebody just happened to see it.
Well,
you tell me. I'll stop guessing.
So, he reigned the district of Cross Hill in Glasgow, which is this little cluster of streets, and it seems that the reported sightings fell between 4 to 9 p.m. Apparently.
So a very specific time and a few streets.
Seems so, yeah.
Okay.
And so his streak of terror lasted from 1976 to 1979. And all in all, there were 17 cases of terrified women who encountered him. Of those 17 cases, 3 main cases were recorded. And these are the ones that I have today. So there are only 3 real, and they're all the same no matter where you find them. They're the same 3 cases. So All that had an interaction with him had a thick feeling of fear and dread, and some were so traumatized by their encounter that they moved to a different town. He is an entity really like none other that I've dealt with, or like not dealt with, you know what I mean, but like researched. Thank goodness.
That I've been possessed by.
So it makes more sense to me almost to think of the Gurning Man as a real flesh and blood dude, because otherwise I don't know what the purpose is. So because of just how these stories pan out, it's easier to rationalize that than the alternative. As for his appearance, I'll let the stories do the talking on that.
All right.
So, one of the first recorded occurrences of the Gurning Man was when two girls were walking at night under the bright full moon, so there was a lot of visibility. As they were walking up ahead, they saw this tall, really extremely thin, bald dude standing under a street lamp as if wanting to be seen. He was under the street lamp on purpose. The girls reported that he was in alarmingly tight-fitting black clothes, like a leotard. And standing under the light, he was moving his arms in a real jerky way. Like, just kind of moving his arms real weird. And they could see that his face was all contorted and all kind of weird.
It was gurning.
And he was snorting and huffing at them, kind of like doing this weird... And so the girls turned, understandably, and ran away.
This is Jim.
See what I mean? He's just dancing. That's just how he dances. And so the girls ran away, but they said like they whipped around and he was gone. And he shouldn't have been able to disappear like that.
Scuttled away.
So the second sighting of the Gurning Man occurred when a woman was setting out her milk bottles at night, which I wish we still did that. That sounds really nice to get fresh milk. She noticed something moving out in the road, and when she looked, she saw a tall and freakishly gaunt dude jerkily running in place in the middle of the street by himself. While doing so, he was contorting his face in a strange way, filled with fear, but also fascination. She watched him for a moment until he vanished in front of her eyes.
I do feel like fear and fascination is exactly correct.
Yes. Yeah. The last story, though, is a doozy.
Is it the big bad clandestine bitch?
It's the big bad clandestine bitch.
Okay.
A woman woke at night in her bedroom by the sounds of snorting and grunting.
Oh no, he loves to snort and grunt.
She could tell that her husband was sleeping soundly next to her, so she knew it was somebody else who was in the bedroom. Paralyzed by fear, she eventually worked up the courage to take a look at who was in the room. In the room, she saw, at the foot of the bed, a bald man in his 50s in black clothing, and he was looking at her with this horrible in-between smile and grimace while grunting and maniacally rubbing his chest.
Ew, I want to laugh. Like, I want to laugh because I'm thinking of Jim. But at the same time, that mental image is not okay.
It's awful. It makes my eyes water.
Maniacally rubbing his chest.
Yeah. While grinning.
And snorting and huffing.
It's awful. So, this is the worst part. When she was about to finally try and be like to wake her husband up, the fear, he let out a horrible scream, which woke up the husband.
Oh.
And when he turned the light on, the dude was gone. He was not there. Yeah. So.
Why would he let out a scream?
I don't know. He's just weird, He's just weird. So in all of the 6 sightings so here's the thing. There were 17 sightings total. 6 were in a house. And he
gets in your house?
Yeah. So, in all 6, there were never any signs of a break-in. And so, on the surface, it makes, other than the vanishing, it's like this dude was just a sex fiend. He was in his tight leotard, and he just wanted to get out and, do his thing,
In Gurn.
Yeah,
Sex fiend?
And, I was really, some people were what if he was what if he was this time traveler, right? And he just travel and because he only shows up 17 or so times that he's seen. Maybe he got caught by whatever he's come to. Dude, you can't be such a fucking weirdo on these vacations that you're going on. And maybe he couldn't come back anymore. I don't know.
Because, okay, when time travel destination becomes a thing, there's gonna be some weirdo that's he goes through security perfectly fine, and then he gets to whatever time, puts on his black leotard and rubs his chest and gurns.
And gaunts. But it got me really thinking about it. And I was really thinking about time travel today. I loved the time travel theory. And I was like, what if that's how that works? Like when you get, because he's only in the same few streets. So it's like maybe you only get clearance to go to like a set area.
Okay, yeah.
And he used all of his chances to put on a black leotard and be a weirdo.
The worst part is him letting out a scream.
Yeah, I know, me too. It's what really bothered me.
Letting out a scream. And especially right as you work up the courage to like...
To do it for yourself.
Yeah. And then to hear it coming from somebody else, I would...
And I'm picturing a Gene Wilder Willy Wonka scream. You know, when he's on the... Any sides of... That's what I'm picturing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I have. It's pretty short and sweet, but that's all you need with that.
That's all you need. That's all you need. I have a considerably longer tale.
That is good.
So I want to talk to you today. It's my turn now. Everybody shut up. I have an unexplained phone call with Gary Sudbrink. This is a little different than stories I've done in the past, because from a fairly young age, I've consumed like a mass amount of horror content. In all of its forms. And some of the most haunting, stick-with-you levels of fear that I have ever experienced have been stories that revolve around phone calls. I'm sure many people have heard something like this at some point, especially if you are a spooky story fan or a horror fan. And I'm going to reference, just for an example, a story that I heard a long time ago. So the details might not be totally correct. I can't even remember if this was true or like a creepypasta. But the formula of these stories seem to be something like this. So in this story that I'm referencing, just to tell you why I'm afraid of phone call stories. So a mother awoke in the wee hours of the morning by her ringing cell phone. The screen displayed the name of her son, who she knew to be taking a long-distance, like, overnight train trip. With the fear that, like, only a middle-of-the-night call can bring, she answered the phone to be greeted with static. After she hung up the phone, assuming that maybe it was like an accidental dial or some kind of thing like that, her husband's phone on the other side of the bed begins to ring. And again, the son's name was displayed, and nothing but static was on the other line. The next morning, the couple receives the news that the train that their son had been on had derailed and their son was killed. In the following days, they were surrounded by family for the services and funeral and things. And the married couple then learns that similar calls had been placed to the now deceased man's brother, wife, and daughter. After they talk about it, they see that this was all around the same time, like 2 or so in the morning, with nothing but static on the other line. The first conclusion reached by the family was that maybe he tried to call for help, like maybe the train derailed and he was like hurt or trapped in some way and he was trying to call for help, something along those lines. That theory was dashed once they learned more about the death and autopsy and just getting more information, that the man had been killed instantly when the train crashed. And the train crashed not too long before they received these phone calls. So the time adds up that he was already dead by the time that the phone calls had been placed. And on his person, his cell phone showed no outgoing calls at the time as well. So now I've seen a lot of stories like this, with sometimes there's static or silence coming in from the impossible caller, and sometimes people say they've had full-blown conversations with someone, only to find out that that person has passed away.
Right.
The validity of these stories is kind of up to you as the reader to decide, but it's not just people who have passed that freaky phone calls have come from.
Right.
Trying to say their final goodbye, which is a little, like, comforting, I guess, in a way. Phones are just overall an abundant source of paranormal activity. The reasons for this are often credited to the way that, like, cell waves, radio waves, things like this, and just, like, technology in general operate. Even on, like, landline phones, there's just the way that information kind of comes through and is processed. That somehow may be easier for communication to exist between humans and something that we don't understand. That it makes it easier. And the story I have for you today, it's not a passed away loved one or some other specter reaching out from beyond the grave. There's only theories as to what could have been going on. I want to say that there are recordings that accompany the script, that makes it the script. I'm going to write it off
it's
right now.
It's a real story.
The transcript of the phone calls that have been typed up. I've listened to these recordings. Now, we're not going to play them on today's podcast because we're not sure if we can, yada, yada, yada. There is going to be a link in the show notes. I'll give you a name for if you want to hear these recordings, you can Google it. If you Google this name, it will come up. The recordings are all over the place. I've heard the recordings, and I've seen most of the like explanations that skeptics have given. All I know for sure is this scared the hell out of me. This scared the hell out of me. I have a thick skin when it comes to scary stories, just from consuming. You build up that immunity to it. And hearing audio always adds that next level.
It really does.
Of like creep out factor. I mean, when I say that it scared the hell out of me, when I say I was creeped out, it seems like an understatement. I was freaked. Just unnerved in general.
Yeah.
And then nighttime came around, it was bedtime, all the lights were off, and I was lying in bed like, oh. All I can hear is this voice.
Yeah.
Which I'm not going to like try to imitate today. I will describe it.
Yeah.
But you're really going to need to go hear that yourself if you're interested. The story takes place in 1993. Everybody involved to this day maintains that this is real and true as it is played out here. I will be reading to you the transcripts of the phone calls. Our first and main player in this story is Gary Sudbrink. Gary was 27 years old at the time. He was visiting his family in Long Island, New York. This trip to Long Island was a surprise, as Gary had been living in San Antonio, Texas, for his work in the Air Force. He told no one of his plans to drop in. This was a surprise trip. After settling in at his parents' house and kind of visiting with them and, saying, hey, what's up? Surprise, I'm home. He called up a buddy that he kind of grew up with, I guess, in the area. The buddy he called, his name was Mike. Mike didn't seem surprised, like, at all to hear Gary on the other line. When Gary was like, hey, buddy, guess what? I'm in town. Mike, in fact, told Gary that they had already spoken the day before.
Okay.
Gary was confused and said that, I didn't call you yesterday, man. I haven't even been in this state for that long. I just got here today. Mike went on to tell Gary about the alleged conversation that they had. That the person who was claiming to be Gary said that he had just arrived in New York via LaGuardia Airport and that he thought he was catching a cold and like, I'm not feeling well. I don't think we're going to be able to hang out. Canceled on him.
Okay.
I was going to come see you, but I'm not going to come see you now, is what he said. Well, here's the problem with that. There's a couple. Real Gary had flown in, but through the JFK airport, not the LaGuardia airport. The real Gary was also feeling like great and in no way coming down with a cold or any kind of sickness. The two were equally confused, trying to figure out, as you would be, and as they were kind of, I don't understand what you're talking about, man. Gary receives a beep, like a call from on the other line. Now, if you're before the time of cell phones,
beepers,
call waiting, you're on the phone, blah, 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 and just beep,
do.
Somebody's calling you on the other line. So he receives that. Now he's at his parents' house, remember, visiting. So he figures, look, Mike, I'm going to have to call you back. We'll figure this out. My parents are getting a call. I'm going to get it. So he ends the call with Mike and switches over. And he's greeted by this eerie, monotonous voice.
Okay.
And I can't describe it any way other than eerie. Gary was shaken on some kind of subconscious level, as you tend to be in these situations. And he was like overcome with this desire to document the transaction. The voice sounded strange. So this transcript does pick up kind of mid conversation, I guess. Some answering machines would allow you to record calls, yada, yada. So he begins to record. There are many transcripts that I've seen typed up of this throughout the years. This has been around since 1993, so over 20 years at this point. And they're all trying to, at some points, the voice is a little unclear or a little weak. So some parts differ in the transcripts. I picked the transcript that to me sounded like the best representation of what I myself heard. Okay. So most retellings are formatted very similarly, breaking up. There were 4 phone calls overall. And I will be kind of peppering in relevant information as we go on. So I don't want to overload you with names and characters and stuff, so we'll be learning as we go. So this transcript is from normalparanormal.org. You can also head over there. There'll be a link in the description or the show notes, excuse me, and you can hear the recordings in their entirety. So, the transcript begins after the conversation has already started. It begins where the audio clip begins. The Stephen mentioned in the story is Gary's brother. Mm-hmm. Gary, I'll tell you who it is. Voice. Hello? Gary, yeah, do you want to speak to him? Voice. Is Gary Sudbrink there? And that was a very deliberate Sudbrink. Gary, yeah, who is this? Stephen, are you playing games with me or what? Mm-hmm. Huh? Stephen, if you're playing games with me, I'm going to kick your ass. The voice. So how long are you going to be back from Texas? Which, a disjointed sentence is never fun. Gary, huh? Voice. You are being impersonated by the other voice. Gary, yeah, this is you, Stephen, you idiot. You're pissing me off.
You idiot.
I'm going to get you on, let's see what it said. Review, 1 new call, out of area. Is Stephen out of area? So here, what's happening, Gary thinks his brother is prank calling him, which he checks out the call where it's coming from, and it's listed as out of area. He calls out to his parents, who are in the next room, is Stephen out of the area? His parents then kind of wander into the room. You hear lots of background noises, and you hear parents yelling at each other. The dad at one point gets very worked up, and the mom goes like, just shut up already. So, and that's all. It's also, there's humorous bits. Voice. How long are you going to be back from Texas? Gary, wait, say that again. Voice, you are being impersonated by the other voice. Gary, wait, hold on. Is Stephen out of the calling area or what? You can hear his parents in the background. Burp, 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 burp. Mom, how do I know? Gary, what do you mean you don't know? He's in Queens. Dad, well, who are you talking to? Gary, I don't know who the fuck I'm talking to. Voice, hello? The mother takes the phone. She says, hello? Voice, is Gary Sudbrink there? Mom, who is this? Gary in the background. Let me talk to him.
Okay.
Mom, somebody sounds like a robot.
Oh, that's creepy.
Gary takes the phone. And here's the voice. If I was to impersonate, is Gary Sudbrink there?
I'm not going to listen to that.
Hello?
Yeah, I would not listen to that recording.
You're being impersonated by the other voice. So, thinking along those lines.
And, yeah.
Yeah. Kind of like a growly, almost. Somebody sounds like a robot. Gary takes the phone. Gary says, hello? Voice. How long are you going to be back from Texas? Gary, what was that again, sir? Voice. You are being impersonated by the other voice. Gary calls out to his family. Oh, be quiet. Say that again. Hello? I'm impersonated by what voice? The voice says, hello? Gary, yeah, hello? Is Gary Sudbrink
So it just
there?
repeats the same few things.
Yeah. Gary, hold on a second. Mom, who is that? Gary, it's Stephen. Okay, yeah, what's your question? I'll answer it. Dad, in the background, beginning to get a little bit more interested. You can only hear the end of what he's saying. He's saying, a strange voice. Voice. How long are you going to be back from Texas? Gary, how long you're being impersonated by the other voice? Right. When am I coming back? Is that your question? The voice. Starting to get a little quieter. You know, you can still hear it, but it's getting quiet. Sudbrink there? Dad, in the background. What's the matter with you? Gary.
What's the matter with you?
Gary, okay.
I'm hearing Andrew Glauberman's dad.
Yeah, what's the matter with you?
What's the matter with you?
Gary, there was a break. Hold on. You want to know when I'm coming back to Texas? Is that your question? So how long are you going to be back from Texas? Gary, how long am I going to be back from Texas? You're being impersonated by the other voice. The question doesn't even make sense, Gary says, which is true. Gary, okay, I'll be coming back eventually. I can't tell you when. You should know the question because you seem to know more about this than I do. What are you saying? The dad, who has rushed into the other room to pick up the phone.
Oh, okay.
Back in the day on landlines.
Yep.
If you had another landline, you could pick it up and be a part of the conversation. So the dad has run to the other room to get on the phone. And he says, oh, okay, yeah. So he picks up the other phone and begins to speak. Seemingly, he's got something cooked up. He's got an idea of what could be going on.
Okay.
Dad might be a little bit of a conspiracy theorist. Who knows? Because the first thing he says, hello, are you a intergalactic person?
Oh.
Gary, are you a space alien? Dad, sounds like he hung up. Gary, I can't believe this. Dad, he hung up, Gary. Gary, see if he comes back. All right, I'll hang up. Then the dad hangs up and you hear Gary say, Jesus Christ, oh my God, I gotta call Mike back. And that's the end of the first call.
Okay.
So we see the dad ask a very strange question.
Right, that is strange.
We also, in the recording, begin to hear the voice getting like slightly weaker and quieter as it goes on. Here, most retellings bring up a soon-to-be relevant event that Gary's brother, Stephen, had. And I'll relay that to you now. So Gary's brother, Stephen, had experienced this fairly recently. Gary and family had also made a point of Stephen not being the type to pull pranks or practical jokes. He's not a jokester guy. He ain't got time for that. Stephen's experience takes place in Long Island, not too long before the night of these calls, where once again Gary was visiting from Texas for a wedding of a family friend. Stephen was driving to the wedding on his way. He's en route. When he says he saw Gary pull up next to him in a certain make, model, and color of a car. He noticed that Gary was making some very strange faces, presumably to get his attention. Pulling weird faces. When he looked over at him, and to give him attention, Gary just sped away.
Oh, that's weird.
Out of sight. Just boom. Later, when Stephen arrives at the wedding, he learned that Gary had, at the time of this occurrence, already been at the wedding.
So something's creeping around.
Yeah. And stranger still, had ridden with his parents because he didn't even have a car. Remember, he's visiting from Texas.
Right.
So he didn't rent a car. However, back home in Texas, Gary did indeed own a car, the exact make, model, and color of the car Stephen said he saw him driving. Stephen had never even seen this car or was really even aware of what type of car his brother had. So at this point, Gary's not too sure what's going on, but later admits that he's still thinking that it's his brother behind all of this. The second phone call came not long after the first, and by this point, they're ready. They're ready to hit record, right? So, Gary, what's your question? Unidentified beeping in the background. Gary, yeah, I'm speaking. Voice. Is this Gary Sudbrink? No stutter this time. Gary, yeah, can I answer any questions for you? Are you back from Texas? No, I'm not back yet, no. How long are you going to be back from Texas? Gary, let me answer you. First, you tell me, where are you calling from? Gary's a little hot-headed. Voice, is this Gary Sudbrink? Gary, yeah, why don't you tell me where you're calling from? The voice says, who is this? Gary, what do you mean? You should know, it's me, Gary. Wait, let me ask you a question. Where are you calling from? The voice says, keep an eye on the skies. This part is weak and unclear. It begins to get kind of difficult to easily understand what the voice is saying. Gary says, excuse me? The voice says, near Orion.
Oh.
Gary, I can't hear you too well. Voice, the full moon. Gary, yeah, there is a full moon out. That's true. Could you identify yourself? Identify yourself. Dad has now,
Oh, okay, here he is.
Dad's come back. Ask him what's the purpose of the call. Gary, why are you calling me? Keep an eye on the skies. Excuse me? Near Orion. I can't hear you too well. Dad, get on the other phone. It's better. Or Dad says, get on the other phone. It's better. He switches phones. You hear that clackety, old nostalgic clackety clack. He switches phones. Gary says, okay, hold on. Who are you? The voice, a little clearer. It's true. The phone was a little bit better.
Okay, that's good.
A little clearer, but still kind of weakening out, says, keep an eye on the skies. Keep an eye on the skies, he said. Dad, keep an eye on the sky?
Oh.
Gary, yeah. Voice, Orion. Dad, ask him, can I talk to him?
Oh my God, he's so into this.
Gary, shh. Dad, I had a sighting already. Gary, oh, okay, hold on. Say that again. Repeat that again. Please repeat. Voice, keep an eye on the skies. Gary, okay. Near Orion. Near Orion. Dad says, holy mackerel. Tonight, or is this when?
Holy mackerel.
Holy mackerel. The voice, the full moon.
Seems like they need to be talking to his dad in the first place.
Gary says, the full moon. Dad in the background. They hung up. Voice. I don't know why Dad was saying they hung up, because they didn't. Voice. Show double of you. Dad in the background. Keep an eye on the sky. He's pondering. Keep an eye on the sky near Orion. The dad, I love him.
He's really trying to figure this out.
Gary, repeat. Dad, tell him I'd like to talk to him. Oh, okay, Dad. Repeat the last word. Static. Gary, I'm hearing static. Dad, tell him I'd like to talk to him.
Oh my God. He's such a mess.
More static. He hung up. Gary, hello? End of the second call.
Mm-hmm.
So now we learn that the dad has at some point had what he believes to be an encounter. A
sort
sighting
of experience.
of a UFO in the past. He's getting worked up.
He seems like he's into it.
Gary, to this day. And what's weird about this is, what I've read is he's not profited really from this experience. A lot of the times when people fake things, or it's a hoax or whatever, they'll try to go and get appearance fees and, do this kind of stuff. To this day, he doesn't he doesn't seem to love talking about it. And he's like, I don't know, I still kind of think it was maybe a prank.
Yeah.
Okay, and sure, possibility, but there's some weird shit with this. And especially after you hear it, man, it's weird. All right, a third call was received. And this is the last of this particular night. Gary, okay, it's time to talk. Who is this? Dad immediately runs and picks up the phone on the other line. Gary says, Steven, this is not funny, The voice is barely audible at this point. This is where we're getting to the differences in transcript. So the voice says, who is this? Gary, how do I know this is not Steven? Dad, it's not Steven. Dad, hello? I had a UFO experience in West Virginia, which you probably know. And I know that you're an intergalactic person.
What is going on with his dad?
Voice, very, very low. Who is this? Dad, can you speak a little louder? Sir, can you speak a little louder? He's very nice, calling him sir, calling him not an alien, he's an intergalactic person. Voice, even lower. Murmur something, but it's unintelligible. Dad, louder? Gary says, let me speak to him. Give me the phone. Dad says, okay, I'll give it back to you. He wants to talk to you. So it seems clear that he's not really into talking to the dad.
No, yeah.
Because when the dad asks questions,
he won't answer.
You hear static. There's mumbling. Quiet. So we hear the phone change hands. Gary, hey, can I help you? So the voice is now a little louder than before. Hello? Yes. Is Gary Sudbrink there? Yes, that's me. Voice now says, here is Gary Sudbrink. Gary says, yeah, could you please identify yourself? Are you back from Texas? Yeah, I'm back. I'm in Texas right now. We now hear the dad say something in the background. We can't hear what he says, but I imagine it's like, don't lie to him.
Don't lie.
Yeah. Gary says, well, he asked me a question. Very low. How long are you going? And I'm guessing it was going to be, how long are you going to be back from Texas?
Yeah, probably the same thing.
Gary says, no. I'm in New York right now. You know what? Why are you asking me such a question? Dad in the background, assuming he's going to call back 3 times in a row. What are you going to do? He's just kind of ranting in the background. The voice, is this Gary Sudbrink? Yeah, Steven, if this is you, I swear to God, I'm going to be pissed. Voice, who is this? Static on the line. Dad in the background, this is not Steven. Gary, I'm trying to listen to him. Will you... Excuse me. Dad, you keep playing games. This is not Steven. Mom in the background. Well, shut the hell up. At this point, we hear intense static on the line. I guess it doesn't like cussing. I don't know. Gary, okay, eventually I'll be back from Texas. Could you speak more? Please speak more. Intense static. Eyes on the skies. I guess it's not Steven. I'm getting static, says Gary. Dad, Steven would not call 3 times. Gary, let me go get the other phone. I guess he picks up the better sounding phone. Okay, please speak. Hello? Keep an eye on the skies. Getting softer again. Then we hear the sounds of writing and scratching, followed by an unidentified beeping noise. Gary, okay, should I go out right now? Orion. Right now? The full moon. Okay, see, I'm not sure where Orion is right now, but we'll go outside. Show double from you. It'll show double from me. Static on the line. Repeat that again. Static. Call-ins. So that's all for the calls from this particular night. Gary's father was pretty obviously excited.
Worked up.
And he assumed, like, right off the bat that this was coming from an extraterrestrial, an intergalactic person. Connecting his prior UFO sighting to this, what's happening. Gary, while unnerved, he ultimately, like, thought it was some kind of prank. The next day, they were talking about what could it be. His uncle now came over, the dad's brother, who seemingly was with the dad at the time. So these are two brothers who had this UFO experience together. They're both kind of saying, this is tied. This is tied to this. And Gary is going, no, it's not. And it starts to get a little heated, right? And they're debating, not fighting, but just kind of debating about it. As they're debating this, the phone rings again. And after Gary is greeted with that familiar voice, he begins to record. The voice has a lot more reverb and echo this time, but is as loud as it was the beginning of the first call. So we're back to full power here. Is Gary Sudbrink there? Yes, this is me. Can I ask why? Is Gary Sudbrink there?
I would have hung up. I would be so impatient by all of these repeating questions.
Yeah, can I ask why you're calling? Static on the line. Can I just please ask? He repeats again, is this Gary Sudbrink? Yes, it's me. I'm Gary. More static on the line. The voice says, we come to be within planet. Gary says, say that again. In this planet. There's unknown sounds. Voice, we come. Gary, I'm standing right here. I guess maybe all he heard was, come outside. He's like, I'm standing right here. Voice, to be within this planet. Gary, is this a joke or what? You hear a very strange, whirring sound on the recording. The voice says, to visit the many, to be contacted as the same with you. And we hear doors kind of flipping around and shutting. The uncle and the dad are, I guess, running as fast as they can.
Trying to find all of the wall phones.
Coming into the room, getting all the phones they can. Static and whirring is continuing on the line. Gary, I have to think. I'd like to see you. To visit the many. To be contacted. As the same. With you. The uncle gets on the phone. Hey, let me tell you something. I've been listening to you. And I've had contacts with you. Voice. Beware. Government interference. Gary, government interference. Voice. You. Gary, you have, please explain what type of interference. Now we're starting to get some really strange, more whirring, more kind of clicking sounds on the other line. Voice, beware. Okay. Government interference. Visitations to be disrupted by them. Strange sounds on the other line. The voice says something unintelligible, kind of faint. Well, not unintelligible, but it's leaning towards, it's starting to run out of juice again. Appears. The sun will rise on. Dark side. Moon. World. No. The uncle says, the sun will rise. The voice is mumbling in the background. Uncle, on the dark side of the moon? Gary, we hear the voice say, on the moon. Very low. This is one of those, you can't hardly even tell what it's saying. Gary, what branch of the government? Intense static. Voice, very low. Show double from you. More static. Gary, what should I do? Static on the line. Voice, beware. Government interference. Visitations to be disrupted by them. Okay, is this good or bad for me? Caller disconnects. Gary says they hung up, and then he hangs up. So, that's all of the phone calls. One of the things I ran across when researching this was by a Reddit poster a Reddit post, by the user Peanut Butter Jelly.
Wonderful.
Who detailed a few more strange things that Gary has, I guess, since said that he had been through shortly before the calls. Now, seemingly, this was on his way up to New York. Okay. He told his father, even though he didn't really believe it, he's kind of shooketh, and he's saying, okay, look, this is weird. Some more weird things happened to me in the past couple of days. He told his father, now this is from the post on Reddit, he told his father that there had been a couple of odd incidents on his trip back home. Now, back home I take to mean to his parents' house. In the airport in Texas, a man had approached him with a clipboard in a friendly manner and asked him a series of rapid-fire questions. What was his name? Did he live in Texas? Where was he going? Gary assumed he was taking a survey or selling something of some kind and kind of brushed him off. But after boarding the plane, a different man sat next to him and began peppering him with the same identical questions. What was his name? Was he from Texas? Where he was going? How long would he be there? Before Gary could figure out if the man was just being polite, the cabin attendant came along and told the man that he had been assigned the wrong seat and had to move. Somebody was like, this guy's in my seat. Said, sir, this is not your seat. When Gary deplaned, he did not see the man anywhere among the fellow passengers. That's eerie to me. Also, you probably seemed to notice, obviously, that the voice repeated a lot of the same things. And in listening to it, it sounds almost identical, like a soundboard.
Yeah.
But as the Reddit user Peanut Butter Jelly says, they did some detective work, and they say this. Many of the phrases repeat from the previous calls, but even though they sound similar, on some of the little... Okay, there are some little differences in the wording, the pausing, the phrasings. There's little, almost undetectable changes in the different things. If the calls were from a soundboard recording, why record almost unnoticeable variants on the same phrase? Was the caller speaking live instead of using something to modulate his voice? The volume also changed significantly, with the voice getting fainter and harder to understand as the calls went on. So on that last bit about the voice fading out, a lot of people interpret this as the entity running out of energy or connection or something similar as it went longer. There are plenty of theories as to what the calls were about, who it was, and why this happened. One of the most accepted is that something was reaching out to Gary to warn him of a doppelganger. The one who made the weird faces at the brother on the road, and the one who called Mike and said, I'm Gary, I'm sick, I'm not going to come see you. And that gives more meaning to the lines, you're being impersonated by the other voice, and show double of you. Some have pointed out how the voice is robotic and bizarre, and it sounds similar to those who have had encounters with the MIB. They describe their voices as being this low, monotonous, almost fake, robotic sounding voice, like something is, like an AI is trying to sound human. Many people say that they will also repeat similar, like things in a similar fashion, with those little tiny inflections being different. Many people who do read these transcripts, just a little bit of a word of warning, they report feeling very heavy feelings of anxiety or a strange dread. And let me tell you,
I do too.
If strange voices or unexplained phenomena of this type gives you the creeps, then don't listen to the Gary Sudbrink
Yeah, I'm not
calls.
going to.
Don't do it at night either, because I did it at night. I listened to it as it was getting towards the night. Then I typed all of this up. I did, I didn't type up the transcripts.
Right.
I used a transcript. After looking into it and seeing some Reddit posts and seeing articles that other people had written and everybody putting in their 2 cents what this could be and what Gary's been up to since then, I went back to listen to it again. And Clark had already gone to bed. And I hit play and I got to the first syllable of that voice. Fuck it. Closed everything down. Nope, not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. So that was the strange incident. That was the unknown call with Gary Sudbrink.
Wow.
There you go.
Yeah.
There it is.
Don't love it.
Don't love it. Shall we cool down with some listener stories?
Yes. All right. All right.
All right, all right, all right.
This was sent in by Kylie R.
Oh.
All of my paranormal experiences have either been too fleeting, my imagination, or nowhere near as dramatic as being attacked by shadow people. So I resigned myself to never being able to write in for a Spookysode until you told the story of the Dybbuk. Don't get your hopes up. This isn't a story about a Dybbuk. But you mentioned a guy who brought the Dybbuk box, went to Truman State University. He then sold it to a guy who tied to the osteopathic school in the same town of Kirksville, Missouri. Suddenly, a light bulb went off. I lived in Kirksville for 4 years while I attended Truman, and I spent 2 years living by the osteopathic school, and that's when I remembered Goldsberry. Kirksville is a small town of about 17,000 people during the school year, about 10,000 during the summer, and there admittedly is not much to do. If there wasn't a party and no one wanted to go to Walmart, we'd find ways to occupy ourselves, and local lore was always fair game. By senior year, we had heard all of the stories: the abandoned church with the haunted piano, the baby cemetery, the devil's chair on top of the theater building. You get the idea. We had learned all there was around town until one of our professors told us about a nearby ghost town. We had never heard as much as a whisper about the town, so he took us on an excursion to visit, a group of about 10 of us. We drove about 30 miles outside of town into the middle of nowhere, pitch black. Where in tarnation are we? And if he hadn't been our tour guide, we definitely would not have been able to find it. Out of the pitch black of night, our headlights caught the reflection of the ratted, overgrown sign for Goldsberry, and we pulled over to park. There were no street lights and barely any moonlight, so we were wholly dependent on our flashlights, and it wasn't until you're standing in the front yard that you were able to see the first house. Ooh. It stood there fighting against nature as the trees and weeds were growing through charred remains. We walked up the porch that must have originally been white, and the porch boards creaked as we opened the unlocked door. Inside there was disarray. The air was heavy and claustrophobic. There were holes in the walls from what appeared to be fire, burnt paper strewn about, and 2 hospital beds sitting in the middle of the living room. I looked down and saw a newspaper with the front page picture of the Twin Towers dated September 12th, 2011. At that point, I noped the fuck out of there and went back to the fresh air. We'd walk 20 or so yards and see another building being eaten away as nature was reclaiming its space. In total, there are about 5 houses, a general store, a doctor's office, and a post office. In each building, the most recent newspaper was dated September 12th, 2001. It got to the point where I stopped going into the buildings and just waited on the highway. I was drained, exhausted, and very creeped out. That's how I get. I feel that way in situations like that. After getting back to campus, a quick Google search didn't turn up much. The post office had moved to another town, and Goldsberry didn't participate in the 2010 census. Oh, and there also was a murder-robbery of an old miser who owned the store in January 2002. He was shot, his safe stolen, and his house set on fire by 6 people aged 18 to 21. The article I read talked about how the local sheriff, priest, etc. had nothing nice to say about this guy other than the sentiment that he didn't deserve to die that way. I immediately knew that the first house we entered was his. We had initially thought up crazy theories about the town going to some underground bunker after 9/11, but it became pretty obvious to me that the town died after this man did. I didn't find much beyond this and finally understood why it had never been mentioned as local lore. It was based in horrific reality. It's much harder to have a fun-filled spooky night with an actual tragedy than stories made up by bored college students. I was a year away from beginning my journey as a witch, so that at that time I was in no way prepared for that kind of energetic imprint. And 8 years later, I'm still not prepared. I'm very glad I left when I did, and although you won't find it on any lists of haunted places in America, it's definitely the spookiest place I have ever been. Ew. Ugh. I don't like ghost towns.
No. No. I don't like going into buildings and seeing creepy newspapers.
I don't either.
And that's the theme, a lot of the times the spooky stories we come up with and urban legends are not as scary as what really went down.
The truth.
Our next story comes from Vivian. My house was built in 1871.
Jeez.
Back when dead people were exposed in their living room and shit before the funeral. Because funeral homes weren't a big thing, at least not in the country. One night I was lying on my bed, trying to meditate myself to sleep. There's 2 things you need to know about my bed. 1, it's rather high, and 2, it's in the corner of the room.
Okay.
Which means my head was in the corner of the room. As I was about to succeed in falling asleep, I suddenly felt someone lean over my shoulder from behind, which startled me enough to pull me out of my meditation.
As it should.
I feel like that's normal.
Mm-hmm.
I naturally hadn't seen it happen because my eyes were closed, but I knew that it was an older man who had just been there, and that he hadn't been leaning over me intentionally. I didn't feel like he knew I was there. In retrospect, that corner of the room probably used to have an armchair or something in it, which is likely to be why the man was sitting there next to my head. I don't think I would call the man a ghost exactly. It just felt like an echo of events from the past. Thing. It was pretty neat.
Pretty neat.
Here's another thing. I love lilac.
I love
saltines. And I've never lived in a house that didn't have lilac around. My current home isn't the only one that was very old. My first house was over 2 centuries old. Dope. People have definitely died in those 2 houses. Surprisingly enough, this was my first ghostly/spooky experience. When researching lilac a bit, I found out that it is said to help spirits pass on. Not in that get the fuck out kind of way that Sage has, but a more gentle helping hand.
Move along.
Both houses are completely surrounded by huge lilac trees. No wonder they weren't haunted. At least, not now.
Oh. This was sent in by Hannah J.
Hannah J.
I found this podcast about a month ago, and I've been listening in order. But one time, after Spookysode 3, I decided to skip forward to hear Spookysode 4 before going back and listening to everything in order. They were just too good, and I wanted more. This time that I listened, I did not get too scared just listening to it. I just loved the stories and going, ooh. But that night, I got so uncomfortable. I keep a very sacred space in my room. My friends all talk about how it just feels so nice. Even those who don't know that I'm a witch or that I practice just say that it's full of good vibes. I try to keep it full of good vibes. I try to keep it tidy, even though I'm a messy person. I keep plants, crystals, candles, twinkly lights, books, cozy things everywhere. So I usually feel pretty safe in my room. But this night, I felt a certain emptiness in my chest, a drop in my stomach, a feeling as if I'm not alone.
Ooh.
Peering around and doing breathing exercises. I have anxiety and panic disorder, so I have a lot of practice calming myself, but nothing was helping. There was nothing I could point out. I just felt bad, just stressed, scared that I wasn't alone. After texting my good witchy friend and having her help me remember what to do, I did a protection visualization that my sister taught me. I visualized and sometimes even act out stepping into the shape of a black egg that I could pull up around me. I imagine tying it shut at the top. I then will a second wall to form around me made of mirror.
Oh.
Then one wall of flowers.
Damn.
Then a very strong wall of beautiful blue crystal.
Oh.
Another mirror layer. Maybe another layer of vines or anything that calls out to me. My sister does walls of thorns or fire. And to top it off with the last mirror layer. After doing this, I light my sage the fuck up and walk around my room smoking it up, always closing the circle at my open window. I walked around saying negative energy does not have my permission to be here. I call on my guides, angels, and those who watch over me to help me protect myself in space.
Good call.
I top it all off with Palo Santo afterwards and immediately felt lighter. I finally felt okay and my room felt safe again. Maybe it was nothing. Maybe it was anxiety or paranoia. There's no way to know. But story number 2, I went back to listening to the podcast in order and came to Spookysode 4 again. Of course, this is the one that gives everybody problems. Period. Of course, I listened to it a second time. I got into my car to take a puppy to daycare. Oh, to take my puppy to daycare. To take a puppy to daycare.
Just a puppy.
And the episode continued to play in my car. Oh, wait, sorry. I got in my car to take my puppy to daycare, and the episode continued to play in my car speakers via Bluetooth. About 15 minutes in, everything went silent. And then my speakers blew out, and my phone disconnected from my car, and all I could hear was a high-pitched electronic ringing. This had never happened with my phone or my car. Then all the windows in my car rolled down by themselves. I came to a red light, reconnected my phone, rolled the windows up, and kept going. Ooh. That's all, but damn, there's something about your Spookysodes. that we've one specifically. That one.
Yeah. We've heard that a few times, like, people having strange experiences during the sods.
We had one, she was delivering pizzas and like her nav went out or some shit. I was just like, oh.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
I delivered pizzas. I delivered pizzas before sat nav.
Oh.
I'm an old bitch.
Old bitch.
And I would write down on a piece of paper very sloppily, take a right on Main, take a left on whatever, take a right
goodness.
on... It was so bad. I don't know my way around a paper bag. Our penultimate story comes from Audrey P. Audrey P says, so I'm 15, so obviously still living at home.
Okay, good.
My mom's house is on the second floor of a 2-family apartment that was built in the 40s at the tail end of World War II.
Okay.
I'm not even going to start on how creepy the bomb shelter is.
I don't think you have to.
The house has been renovated countless times since, and we moved here in 2006. Which means I've basically lived here my whole life. My whole life? That was like a milady thing. Okay. In the past few years, I've started to feel like there was something fishy and ghosty, or whatever.
Oh.
But it really picked up in the past year. It is especially focused in my kitchen, which is a big open space with lots of windows and a breakfast bar / island, which doesn't face the windows.
Okay.
I don't want to put my back to windows, man. When I'm home alone, I always hear light footsteps that feel too near to be the neighbors. Always focused in the kitchen and sometimes the dining room, which is directly next to the kitchen. Sometimes I even see what I think are shadows moving around, but it might be my eyes playing tricks on me. It's not. From 2 people who frequently see some form of shadow moving around. It's not.
That's probably not.
Sometimes when I'm in my room, which my sister and I share, and I can see my mom's room across the hallway from where my bed is, good, I hear those footsteps walk around all around the house, sometimes even going so far as to turn the corner from the kitchen to where the bathroom and the bedrooms are. I always sort of sense movement around, even if I can't hear it. And I sometimes see movement in the hall at night out of the corner of my eye. At night, the kitchen is where I feel the most uneasy. Because when you look out the windows into the darkness and the lights are on in my room, the reflections are super creepy. And you can trick yourself into seeing faces that don't actually belong to you. This might be my overactive imagination, which explains that, but not why I feel so freaking uneasy in there. And why I always feel like turning my back to those windows at night isn't a good idea. My whole family also sometimes hears people call... Ooh, I don't like this. My whole family also sometimes hear people calling very faintly from the other room, which is usually accompanied by one of us shouting, "Huh?"
Ugh, I hate that.
At whoever we thought was there. Since everything is so faint, I wasn't worried about the spirits because they can't be very powerful. Until, of course, what happened just last week.
Oh.
So I never really tried to connect with anyone in the house, aside from one Ouija board attempt with my friends when weird sounds were happening in the kitchen. I always figured that the spirits were just doing their thing, and we were doing ours. Mutual agreement not to fuck with each other, yep. But just last week, my cousins had just arrived, making there be about 5 people in the house now. My mom was out, so it was just me, my sister, and our cousins. I was sitting at the island. It was about 2 or 3 in the afternoon, and everyone in the house was in my eyesight, which was why it was more than a little jarring when I felt a large, masculine hand grab my shoulder.
Gross.
It wasn't violent or pinching or anything, just the firm grip of a man who doesn't know his strength, trying to joke with or even greet like a kid. I shuddered. The way you shudder when you get a shiver down your spine, and I shook the hand off, which it didn't protest to. That's good.
Okay.
If you kind of shake and it's like, oh, sorry. I tried to get into this one ghost-themed tarot deck I have to try to chat with it, but to no avail. I told it that it better fuck off or be banished, and there has been no activity since. I think upon writing this, that there is some ghosts buried deep under years and years of time and renovations. The house was originally home to a large family whose matriarch would send her sons and the friends through the basement to wash up, take their boots off after work, before coming upstairs. The basement door leads directly into the kitchen. Oh, that makes sense. Which explains the footsteps I hear coming up the basement stairs when the neighbors are out. I think the footsteps make more sense as being the busy sock feet of several young men walking around the kitchen after a hard day's
That's why they're not super loud.
old-timey manual labor. It also explains the calling, as a large family never lets you get a word in without shouting. Yeah, we know that one. It even explains the shoulder grab and how, when I told it to fuck off, it listened.
It did.
So that's my story, which is a lot scarier to me when I'm home alone and hearing people come up the stairs and such.
Fair.
But maybe you found it read-worthy.
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 Yes.
As always, keep making awesome podcasts and being cool. P.S. I live about an hour away from Danvers State Hospital.
Oh, shit.
And when y'all talked about it on the last Spookysode, I could barely sleep. It was awesome.
Oh.
All right, guys.
Bueno mas. We're doing a little bit less this time because I got to finish packing and we got to be up at like 4:30 or whatever in the morning to catch a plane, a GD plane.
At the ass crack of dawn. I don't like that there's a window right over my shoulder. I know we're safe here, but I feel like I'm going to feel a large masculine hand on my shoulder.
I doubt it. This was sent by...
It's just Hunter.
Yeah.
Shh. They're recording.
Caitlin D. sent this one in.
Caitlin D.
To begin, a little background. I was raised by my two parents, but also my dad's mom, whom I called Granny Joe when I was very little, and then just Gran as I got older. I like Granny Joe. That's cute.
That's cute.
She lived with me and my family for much of my life, and we were very close. She passed away in 2014, a little less than a year before I began dating my now husband. From the beginning of my relationship with my husband, I had always talked about my family a lot, and of course talked about Gran as well. One day, a few weeks after we started dating, my husband asked me, "Did your grandmother ever call you child?" To which I responded, "I don't know, maybe once or twice when she was frustrated with me. Why?" He gave me this rather uncomfortable look, and it told me that he was pretty sure that she had visited him the night before. I, of course, immediately wanted to know more. He explained that he'd been in the shower when he thought he heard someone in the bathroom with him, and maybe faintly even say his name. He poked his head out of the shower and looked around, listening. Nothing. So he kept soaping up, thinking he was just hearing things, and he distinctly heard a female voice say, "Child." He responded out loud with, "Yes."
Polite.
And he then got like the sense of a question. It's just like not even really words, but it was just like, "What are your intentions with Caitlin? What are your intentions with Caitlin?" And to which he explained that he wanted to be in my life as long as, I would allow it and treat me well and take care of me as long as he could. He said the presence felt satisfied and then left. To this day, we both believe that Gran was checking up on this man.
Yeah.
Like she knew before I did how important he would be to me and my life.
She's looking out for you.
She's scoping him out.
Like child. Child.
I like that.
Listen to me. I'm about to ask you a very important question. Child.
That's cute.
If you would like to hear your spooky stories featured on the Witch Bitch Amateur Hour Spooky Time Live Bonanza. Extravaganza Time TM. Send your spooky stories to our email address,
wbahpodcast@gmail.com.
Thank you very much. Send your Spookysode to our email address, wbahpodcast.
Send your Spookysode.
Send your Spookysode. Shit. Send your spooky story to our email address, wbahpodcast@gmail.com. Be sure to include spooky in the subject line of your email submission. What were some standout things from this Spookysode for you this time?
I don't know. I was just kind of. This was just kind of creepy. It's just this creepy one. It's a creepy boy.
Yeah.
I'm kind of ready to be done with it.
Yeah. This one has felt. There's creep factor was high.
I'm wanting to be done. I'm wanting to get busy and pack and be done with this and get on a plane to Florida.
I'm just trying to wrap up.
I want to be on a plane. And I want
to leave now.
I want to leave this place.
I think I'm gonna see the gurning man in my sleep tonight.
I don't think you will.
If you hear a scream, it's not me, it's him.
Well, luckily he's gone since the '79.
So we think.
And he seemed to only like that little few streets in Glasgow.
Maybe he grew up there, and he was returning to his childhood stomping grounds to rub his chest.
And he just likes a tight leotard, man.
everything about that story,
it's bizarre.
Is so funny and so spooky.
That's what time. I was taking notes and I was like chuckling, but also like,
Yeah, exactly. It's hilarious at first. More so, I think, to us because we're relating it to Jim.
Yeah,
because it could so easily have been Jim.
It's just a misunderstanding.
It was Jim traveling back in time. You know what happened is we just created him. As we speak things into Jim's existence, we just spoke his ability to travel in time.
I don't like that.
Allowing him to travel in time.
I disagree.
To where he went back in time, rubbed his chest and screamed, and then now we're reading about it.
I disagree completely. I think this thing is another Euclid class.
Ooh, yeah.
They're different.
Not harmful, but creepy.
Yeah.
And you don't know, it might do something to you.
It's a wild card.
But probably not. Another Euclid class. I wonder if SCPs would be something that would be interesting to occasionally cover in these
That might
episodes.
would. That'd be a fun one.
Speaking of scared and scary, how are you feeling about the plane ride?
Oh.
Fine.
I just want to be over.
Yeah. Are you ready? Look, what time is it right now?
Too late.
Is it 9 or 10? Is it 10 o'clock at night?
Put 9:50.
9:50. What time does your plane land?
Land?
Yeah.
11 something. So less than 12 hours.
We're at about 12 hours out. Almost 12 hours out to landing time.
Mm-hmm.
Or less so because it's an hour ahead of time. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We're exactly at the 12-hour mark. Mm. So let's make this next 12 hours fly by.
Yes. Through sleep.
Let's just take some chamomile tea, sleep, and hopefully you'll wake up and just already be in Florida.
And just be there. I don't even remember how.
You'll wake up with fairy animals putting your wedding dress on.
See?
And doing your hair.
And then I'll drink their drink and never come back.
And then, yeah. You'll get tricked.
I'll just disappear forever.
Everybody would be like, wait, wasn't Macy a thing? Where the fuck?
Yeah, why? Wait a minute.
Why haven't we heard from Macy? It's just me in a room now, like, okay, guys.
This is the way it's always been, I guess.
I feel like there used to be someone else here. So, at the end of this, a very spooky day, by the time this comes out, you will be a married bitch.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
So, with that, this has been our Spookysode. The next one is going to feel so soon.
I know.
Because we've had such
a long gap.
You know, we have some ideas in mind for the next on-location Spookysode. The big boy, as it were, or a big boy.
I don't look forward to it.
I do.
I'm glad you do. I'm glad one of us does.
I mean, there's some shit that I've heard about a couple of these places that gives me pause.
Yeah.
Gives me dog pause. But stay tuned for that. As always, thank you so much for joining us on the Spookysodes. We love doing these. And send us your Spookysodes. Add spooky in the title. This has been... What has this been?
The... Wait.
Which?
Amateur.
Ow! How long until you are back from Witch Bitch Amateur Hour?
Exactly. Verbatim.